What's good? I'm realizing that every light in this apartment makes my hair situation look 10 times worse than it actually is, which is just further proof why the best time to shoot anything is during the daytime when there's natural daylight that can hide some of those problems if you do it correctly. I don't know what percent moved in I am quite yet because everything is just in various stages of mishap, including a lot of stuff that's in my roommate's room. He's not here yet. Don't tell him. And don't ask me how the downstairs is either. That's just a minefield in and of itself. But the hallmark of being properly moved in is when the PC is the first thing that gets set up, when you've got so much more stuff that still needs to get fixed. And I also played like 2 hours of XDefiant on it earlier, but that was mostly as a network test because I had to buy a new router because the equipment that I had earlier wasn't that great. And for some dumb reason, the only place where internet works is in my roommate's closet. Every other coax cable in here doesn't work. And there are some outlets that also don't work. So I have stuff that I have to move in. I've got questions about infrastructure that need to get answered. There's a lot of things that still need to get done or get doing because today is day one and there's just a lot of things that have to happen. So I went for a walk in the park today, or I walked to a park that I've known about for a bit. I haven't actually been there personally, but I knew moving here that was going to be a place I would want to go see because I like having a walk route, just take a nice walk every day for weight loss purposes. And as I was walking to said park, it's only like 15 minutes, but I was walking through a really nice neighborhood. Like the part of Denver that I'm close to is close to Denver University, and it's just, there's a whole bunch of houses over there that are really, really nice. And as I was walking through it, I couldn't stop smiling. And I was telling a friend about this earlier. It wasn't quite a euphoric feeling, but it just kind of hit me that, yeah, I feel like I made the right choice. Already after only being back for a couple of days to move back to Denver from LA. I think it really hit me because typically the neighborhood that I lived in LA was sketchy to a point where I had difficulty trusting that if I were to just encounter somebody on the street that, it was a 50-50 shot whether their intentions were good or we were just going to kind of ignore one another, which, LA is a pretty hard-ass town. It's just a place I figured out pretty quick I'm not really cut out for. But I just didn't have that feeling. The feeling I had walking through this neighborhood was much more in tone with just what I'm used to. It's a lot more comfortable. It's a sense of home that I hadn't had for, the past year. And that sort of change of environment already sort of feels like it's doing wonders on my mental. And maybe was proof that for a long time I had just kind of associated during the move that I was in more of a neutral state of mind as opposed to being unhappy because I was trying to give my new situation, my new surroundings, as good of an honest try as I could because, you spend all that money to move out there and change everything that you know about what's close to you and what you're used to. And you want to, do it with a mindset that this might be permanent if things were to go well. Things didn't go well, and I was just in this loop over and over again of trying to convince myself I had made the right decision and failing over and over again. And then coming back here and just being in a place that feels a lot more familiar, that I have a lot more interest in actually making my own or making my home in some respects. I just felt giddy and I felt like I could breathe, which is really funny because you're at altitude in Denver, which means breathing is harder, but you get my drift. It's just this sort of happy feeling that I don't really know if I've had for a while because I can't really say that I've ever used the word happy to describe my situation or just the way that I feel generally it's been a while. I don't want to say it happened before the pandemic or that the pandemic was the primary reason for why I just haven't felt that way for a bit. But LA was definitely the sort of melancholic, don't want to go out and do anything sort of vibe that just kills any real notion of doing anything with a new place. I don't have that same feeling here. I have a feeling of really, really wanting to just turn this into my own little, it's a weird thing to try and explain, but that was just the sensation that I had. And I think because I guess I wasn't really in the best place to judge how down in the dumps I was over the course of the last 13 months, that to have an unexpected win as big as this feeling is just not something I'm used to. So it's not to say that I want to keep on chasing these sorts of feelings, but it also definitely felt like this sort of thing was a long time coming just because of how long I kind of put myself in the doghouse. And now I feel like I'm on the other side of it, and it just feels a lot more free, dude. It genuinely does. So maybe it's the sort of thing that wears off after you fully moved into a new place, and maybe that sort of feeling goes away when I have to remember what driving in snow is like in a couple of months, because that's the one part of Colorado that, as much as I love this state for what it is, that part fucking sucks. So we'll see how long this sort of feeling lasts for. I have a lot of work that I need to get done. It's past midnight as I'm recording this. So, yeah, that's it. I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.